Berney. What party are you from? Okay, that's a good party.
Hi, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming out and being part of the process. Many of you have been very involved in the campaigns. I want to thank you for that. This is what America's about. This is not, let me get at the outset, this is not about being a career politician or not. It's about the issues, where we stand on the issues. I had a wonderful teacher in elementary school. I had a wonderful teacher in elementary school, and I remember before one of the presidential elections, she said, you know, both men running are good people. They both want what's best for the country, but they just have different ideas as to what's the best for the country. This ideally is about what are the ideas, what does each candidate want, and what are the issues here before our country. I'll also mention at the outset that I am also very much a product of Queens. My father was the dean of Queensborough Community College, so I spent a lot of my youth in Queens. I lived a few blocks from here for about 10 years, and have spent a great deal of my time here. I love this community and feel that I've contributed to the community in many ways. What are the issues? First, I'm on the tax reform party. I studied tax policy at the University of Chicago Law School, which I graduated from in 1978 before returning to New York. And we studied how to make the tax system fair, not to make it onerous. When we said the Pledge of Allegiance a few minutes ago, we spoke about justice for all. I recently looked at the Harvard Law School blog, and they announced the hiring of a new professor, and her specialty was how to use the tax system for income redistribution. That's not what it's about. It's not supposed to be about class warfare. It's supposed to be about fairness. It's supposed to be about keeping taxes low enough so that people have enough money to send their kids to college, to pay for their education, to start businesses. Part of that means that we can't have overspending, which really started during the last 2 years of the Bush administration, when the Democrats were in control of Congress. This is when we started getting into trouble. People forget that from 2006 to 2008, the Democrats were in control of Congress. They were the ones, that's when the debt started piling up, and they increased exponentially under the Obama administration, where you both have a Democratic president and a Democratic Congress. This is unsustainable, the type of debt and taxation that we have. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't even know. Congress left without deciding anything about the Bush tax rates, whether those are going to continue in 2011, or whether they're going to continue in 2011 or not. No action was taken on that. We have an AMT, which discriminates against New Yorkers. New Yorkers send $1 to the federal government for every 79 cents that they get back. That amounts to something like $25 billion that we have going from New York to other states because of the structure of our tax system with the AMT and the fact that people don't get the advantage of their high state tax deductions and their high cost of living here. It's a problem. I mean, Gary Ackerman speaks about what he brought to the community. A lot more is going out of this community and is coming back to the community because of our tax system. That has to be restructured. That's a really critical issue. Foreign policy is also a critical issue. A lot of you know that I've been very critical about Gary Ackerman's handling of our relationship with Israel, particularly the Obama administration's handling of the relationship with Israel. The Obama administration's agenda is something called the Arab Peace Initiative, and it's also the Saudi Peace Initiative, which the Saudis brought up in 2002. And basically what it is Israel gives up everything on every front for a promise of normal relations in Syria, which would giving up the Golan to Syria, which would make Israel's northern border indefensible. I mean, a Palestinian state that without anything in place to make sure that it's demilitarized. It means, that would turn into another Gaza, and you have more rockets attacking Israel on our longest border. And that's not just it means that Iran would move in more. Iran, every place where the Palestinians have taken over, every place that Israel has withdrawn from, Lebanon, Gaza, Iran has moved in. I'm also concerned about the lack of really strong action on Iran. Congress, after a year and a half, finally passed this comprehensive Iran Sanctions Accountability and Investment Act. This is after an enormous amount of lobbying, and what happened is they put waivers in the act again. The last time we had an Iran Sanctions Act on the books previously. It was passed in 1996 during the Clinton administration, and at Clinton's insistence, there were waivers put in. What the waivers mean is that any time the president wants to, he doesn't have to follow the Sanctions Act, and as a result, the sanctions weren't enforced from 96 onwards. That's by all administrations. Now we have a Sanctions Act, and Ileana Ros-Leviman, who is one of the best congresswomen, the Republican congresswoman from Florida, pointed out the same day that the sanctions, that the fact that you have waivers in here can render the entire act useless. And this was after a year and a half, and this is very after this committee that did it. That, we have to have more of a mechanism in place to make sure that sanctions are enforced, and even that's not enough. Leon Panetta, who is our CIA, the head of the CIA, stated in June of this year that sanctions will probably not work. We'll have to take stronger action. We need to take stronger action on Iran. This is an existential threat to our country. We can be wiped out by an Iran nuke. And New York will be target number one. It's an existential threat to Israel. It's an existential threat to America. Congress is not taking strong enough action. And these are the issues that are important to our survival. I'm very happy to have had the opportunity to speak about these issues. And I hope also that win or lose, everybody here can have an influence on each other. I hope that the fact that, if Gary Ackerman wins again, and I think the polls seem to show that he will be influenced, by the fact that people are concerned about these issues. That's extremely important. And I hope that the dialogue between all of us will educate all of us. We all want to do what's best for this country. Let's work together, and let's all get out and vote on November 2nd. Thank you.
Congressman, would you like to rebut?
I guess I'm being double teamed. That's okay. They're both Republicans.